yeah, you know what time it is. It's time to pour yourself a drink. I don't care if it's top shelf, bottom shelf, or you made it in the bathtub. It's time for another edition of Off the Wall. Oh yeah,
I'm over here like, hello.
Don't worry.
Nah, just go like that.
This
Look
is what
like-
happens when you work at Sephora. It just
No,
it becomes a thing.
No, I know how to do it. It just.
I trust that you do. I just love it so
Is there
much that
some
I
days
feel
where
like I
I'm
need
like-
to be involved.
There's some days that I wish I could teleport you. I'm like, someone to do my fucking makeup. I look like a damn clown. Like, I can't do this by myself.
I look like Mimi from the Drew Carey
I look
show.
horrible. I'm like, maybe this looks. I'm like, okay.
Well,
that's not
maybe
half bad.
when I'm done, I can do your makeup.
Oh.
So as we start the show, we're literally doing makeup and talking makeup tips. Seriously.
No, we're not
Yes.
talking makeup tips. We're just doing makeup.
We're doing makeup during the show.
Because I have to work.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
But the crazy thing is, what the fuck was up with you all in that last show? Y'all
Sex,
got weird.
Baby, sex.
I mean, it's like
I mean, it could have had something to do with the special spray. I don't know.
Special Sprite. What is in this special Sprite?
I still don't even know. So
Can I have a special Sprite?
oh, special spray.
Sprite.
Oh,
I
special
thought
spray.
it was special
I think it's a
spray.
spray.
And
I'm
I'm
like,
like,
what
well,
are we
we got
spraying?
some
I mean-
pheromones. I think we could.
No, the special
Which is
Sprite.
which he does. It's this random thing from this essential oil crap. It's this pheromone thing. And he'll come in. Do I smell different? I'm like, why yes. And he's like, well, I'm like, if you're gonna do that, you better put out.
Yeah.
Participate
Or
or
I will
not,
attack
either
you
way.
like a wild animal.
That's not gonna work.
Jamie and I
You know?
had a very long-term relationship, and we call her our little white witch.
Yeah.
And she was like, "You need to wear these. You need to wear
Sorry.
these. You need to wear these pheromones, and they'll make you hotter." And I'm like, "All
It
right,
doesn't
cool."
make you hotter, but
So I just put it on, and Jamie's like, "Hey, you're gonna wear that? You better put it."
I become like this romantic too. I'm gonna fight you like
To the point where she's like, "You can either lay there and participate, or you can lay there. I don't care."
You can want to take it or not, but
Yeah.
either way, you're gonna take it.
You're gonna get it.
What's
You're
gonna
gonna
happen?
get it whether you like it or not.
Folks, here we are again. We are here with episode we believe is number 6 with the beautiful producer Marcus. We have Her Highness Jemm,
Yeah, yo.
Jessica motherfucking May, comedian, and I am one of your hosts, JMR, and we're just gonna get into it. That last show was a shit show. That was,
But like the best kind of shit
it
show
was
that
that's the
exists.
best
It
shit
was-
show.
It was very educational.
I mean,
Yeah, education.
we learned that Jessica has great boobs, that some creepy stalker has been following her for now 10 years to tell her
When
thank
she gets
you.
famous, she's like, well, thank you.
I've got great boobs.
I thank you to my boobs.
We know that Marcus has had a undisclosed foursome in his college
And a lot of
career.
other experiences that I don't actually
I
remember.
don't even want to talk about. Let's see here. I passed out on an Asian girl, and then
Well, mine.
Jessica told the guy that he sucked in bed.
Jessica told the guy that he sucked in bed, and
even
I
tried
don't
to
know.
help him be better, and,
and
it
actually
just
tried
didn't
to,
seem
like,
to
coach
work.
him through it.
Poor
You
Jessica.
know.
So
Oh.
mine was
Poor
never.
me. Like, everybody's like, oh, the poor guy. I'm like, I had to deal with it.
That's where we learned the
I
phrase.
had to make an instruction manual. Like,
You're like,
one,
I had
2
to be
seconds.
nice about this shit, okay?
That's where we learned that the phrase I had never. What was it?
I
have
never
never
wanted to have sex more than when I was having sex.
Yeah.
At that moment.
At that moment. It just. And like we were talking, you know, that dude is sitting there telling this story around the campfire going, yeah, man, and then she wanted this position, she wanted that position. Dude, she was bored with you, man. You suck at your job.
Right?
One job.
You had one job.
One job, Scott.
This is why we can't have nice things.
One job. What do you drink? What do you drink
Yeah.
today?
Again, I don't know. I drink whatever you give me.
This is blackberry sparkling water with vodka.
Okay.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
Yeah, it sounds
Yeah.
very refreshing.
It is
It's very
good.
thirst quenching. Jamie, are you drinking? Jamie's into these things called
I might get
smash.
smashed.
Now, when she says, "Hey, I'm gonna smash," I'm like,
I'm like, do you want to smash?
Yeah, I'm like, can we maybe not refer to it that way inside
Right.
our house?
It's a Smirnoff.
You just got to figure out
drink
whether or not
that's
she
a
has one in her
screwdriver.
hand
Exactly,
to determine
but I
the
didn't know what it
context.
was
They're in
at
a
the
can,
time.
like 8% alcohol, which is
And-
very deceiving, by the way.
Oh yeah, it's pretty.
Because it's in a can that can either be like this big or probably about 8 inches tall, and then the smaller ones, of course, are like your regular energy drink size.
And
But
Jessica,
they're just 8%
are
alcohol.
you drinking the Dirty Jessica? Or are you
No,
just?
I'm just doing the cider, but I'm thinking I might make something in a minute.
Oh, that could get crazy.
Well, yeah. What time is it? I can have
2:12.
one more drink. What's 2:12? I can have one more drink.
There we go. So everybody's stuck indoors these days. That's a good time. Yeah.
Isn't it crazy that if you want to be indoors and you're able to go outside, it's fine. But once you're told that you can't go outdoors, everybody becomes an instant rebel.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you can't tell me what to do.
The human brain is literally wired to do what you're told not to do.
Yeah.
But seriously though, like, thank God for Netflix and Hulu and all the
Yep.
other streaming services
You know,
out there
I-
that exist.
YouTube and
Because we
I
would all
Spotify
probably
and-
be dead if it
I
wasn't
came
for
to
them.
that party very late. I came to that party very late, and being
And
an
Disney.
author. Oh, and Disney Plus. Thank you, Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Never had that.
I came to that party late, and I remember in the film world,
When's it?
everyone was making fun of Redbox.
I
And
loved
then-
Redbox.
But
Same.
Then
I
but then the
love
next thing you
Redbox.
knew, Redbox was at every McDonald's, and guess what is in every town in America?
And CVS Pharmacy.
McDonald's and CVS Pharmacy.
Mhm.
And then all of a sudden, Redbox took off. And then Redbox. Now I don't know. I may have this wrong, but didn't Netflix also start their own service where you could
Yes.
go online and you would get 4 or 5 movies sent to
That's
you?
how they started.
That's
They
how they
originally
started.
started
Yeah,
by
yeah.
you could mail order DVDs
And
as
now-
rentals.
I don't know I don't know how you guys feel. And we'll get into this a little bit, but I think Netflix is kicking the shit out of a lot of people. I think they're better than HBO. I think that they're
We don't have, we have internet through Spectrum, but we don't.
that's
have,
not a plug.
We don't have
that's not a plug.
DirecTV or anything like that, or we use Netflix or whatever they have on our TV.
Yeah.
It's just because it doesn't seem feasible. I mean, we used to watch the,
I don't care if
MMA
you-
or UFC
I don't think-
all the time,
yeah.
but
We don't
really
care if you have
miss it
fuck
now.
you money. I can't justify $120 a
No.
month for 700 channels that we don't
There's
use.
oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
when
I
you've
just
got-
think just for the quality of it, we've been now the funnier part of is when we go to vodcast, people see the studio, but we have 3 Vizio televisions in here. They all work off of one remote, and that is kind of funny because we're
Oh,
pretty
it's
sure
so great.
we're pretty sure that our neighbors have a Vizio TV because magically we'll be watching something and the channel will either change or shut off. We'll go to another app. It's hysterical. But
Instantly, you become like, I didn't do it. Like you just did something wrong.
Got all defensive.
we've heard people complain like, well, Netflix doesn't have a lot of shows. How many flipping shows can you really watch in a day?
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
seriously.
Like,
Well,
if all
they've
you're
gotten
doing all the time
better.
is watching TV, like,
Yeah.
come on.
I
When they
mean-
first came out, it sucked.
It did.
It was they
They've
had
gotten
horrible
much better.
choice in videos.
But I think them going to original content. Now, if I get this wrong, Netflix, please forgive me. But Netflix, I feel, was a trailblazer.
Mhm.
They started having their own content. They started doing,
They started an entire new
Yes.
industry.
Yeah.
Yes.
they did.
and then they came out with what I call an epic. An epic is if you watch the Last of the Mohicans with Daniel Day-Lewis, shot in big, all the way across. The pictures were beautiful, and these fight scenes were epic, and everything was big. Very few 1 and 2 shots where you're talking close-ups and stuff like that. An amazing thing. So Netflix came out with the first one that I saw from them. They came out with Marco Polo, and it was a series. And I think they lost their ass on it because it was an epic. I think they shot in Mongolia. It's about Marco Polo, Genghis Khan. I mean the whole 9 yards.
That's right. I was like, I
And
can't
it
remember where that
was huge, and it was epic. And I'm like, this was kind of kicking the shit out of the quality of Game of Thrones with
I
HBO.
vaguely remember
Right.
it.
And that's how
And it was probably produced by some random independent people
Yeah,
who were like,
and
let's
it
just
was
have some fun making a
gorgeous.
show.
And they got two
Yes,
two
it's awesome.
seasons done, I think, and they ran out of money, which sucks. Because they were really following the historical timeline really well, but I think that was kind of a launching pad. Now, Jamie, one of our shows that people won't talk about a lot, and we won't stay too much on it because today we want to talk about drinking, chill, Netflix and chill,
Or whatever.
favorite shows and drinking.
that you like to watch.
What
at
do you
your
like to
home.
watch with on Netflix? It doesn't have to be Netflix. And, Marcus and I are encouraging people who listen to the show, go to the bottom, look up our email, and email your favorite shows, and we'll probably do another Netflix and chill show. Because
I think it'd be
going
fun to
anywhere.
do like a bit where we like watch an episode of a show that a fan likes that we've never seen, and like
Yes, that would
That'd be
do
great.
like a
Yeah,
live
and
like
then you go back and
reaction
talk
to
about
it.
Yeah, why
That'd
not?
be great.
To broaden your horizon, because
Yeah.
you get stuck in this rut of, okay, how am I in? What am I in the mood for? And if something works at every time you are into
Right.
a certain mood, you won't go out of your spectrum.
Kind of like when you're grocery shopping and you're already really
Yeah.
hungry and
Oh,
everything
God.
sounds
Yeah.
good.
We
Yes.
have done that,
Yeah.
and I am such a stooge or a
Oh my God.
miser.
I can't go
When-
grocery shopping when I'm hungry.
When we have bought
I will
stuff,
spend my entire paycheck.
if we
Yeah.
end up throwing food out, I have been poor living in my car in LA. I've had $1 million home. I don't care what spectrum I've
But
been
that's
on.
for another.
Yeah, that's another
day of
Oprah.
shopping.
But I can't stand throwing away food. I don't even like throwing away leftovers.
Yeah.
I just
But
can't
there
stand
are
it.
some that if you don't eat it all, it's not
Right.
going to be good the next day.
But,
Right.
So I feel like Netflix kind of opened up a door, but at the same time, they've got some great original content. But you know who I've been hooked on lately? Hulu.
Hulu has
Well,
some pretty great original
because-
content as well.
The old shows.
I just literally got caught up on every episode of the worst acting show of all time. I just watched all episodes of CSI Miami
Oh,
with Horatio Caine and his worst one-liners ever. I just got caught up on it, and now I'm going back. It's kind of fun to watch because William Peterson, who started the original CSI franchise, is the one that got me involved in television.
Mm.
I was in Vegas working in 2000, and how he got that show started, he's the one that told me when you film a pilot, you better film it good enough that they can play it and start paying you to do the show right away. Because I'm not really sure of the history behind it, but that's kind of how it did. And he made that show a part of Las Vegas where people would show up and they'd watch them. Like I showed her a couple episodes, showed Jemm a couple episodes of them throwing like fake bodies off of one of the casinos for the show. And they just told everybody in the casino, "You want to be an extra?" And people would just come down and be extras. And they're cheering.
Right.
That's not fake, and I think that's cool. But I've been into the Hulu because now I get to get caught up on, I think, the greatest show of all time, NYPD Blue.
Yeah. And it's a great access for foreign art as well. Like I like the idea of foreign films and things, but there's not a lot of good resources. The amount
No.
of films, like I still hate subtitles,
Hold on
don't
a
get me
minute.
wrong.
it's me.
Are you
Oh,
I wasn't
I'm
picking anything
vibrating.
up.
are you vibrating?
I'm vibrating.
Do we need to hold for a minute?
Is that a vibrating toy or?
Sure.
I'll
I
just cut
was
my
like,
part
what
out
is
there. But yeah, like I've seen so many cool like TV shows that have come from like Germany,
Yeah.
and there's a show I want to say it's on Netflix. It's called Rain, and it's a German show that they dubbed over with English dialogue to make it easier to watch because
sure.
if you're anything like me, as much as I appreciate language and all of that, I cannot stand
Jamie
subtitles. I struggle
Jamie
with subtitles.
still has not watched Guillermo del Toro's Pan's Labyrinth because it's in Spanish.
Oh, it's so
And it is one of the most
That's worth it,
brilliantly
though.
shot.
But
so
but
beautiful.
I always want to watch it when I'm tired, and when I'm tired, I
It's hard to
I
like
can't
watch
focus.
and read.
because
Yeah.
I want to give it
You can
because I love the
just
labyrinth.
watch
Right.
it, like just watch it.
rumor
Just
has
to watch
it.
it.
I
Just to
will
watch
say
it,
the
like-
Labyrinth and Pam's Labyrinth are very
Yeah,
different.
That's what I hear.
Very, very
That's what I
different.
hear.
Rumor has it that Jennifer Connelly is going to appear in. They're doing another Labyrinth. They're doing a Labyrinth 2.
They better do
And
it
Jennifer
right. or they-
How
Conley
can
is
you
going
not
to
do that without the Goblin King?
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
How do you do that without? Okay, now look, I just had the worst.
I
brain
didn't know
fart.
that until you were just telling me, and I
Yeah.
love Labyrinth. So
But-
like the thought of David
David
Bowie not
Bowie?
being the
How does
Labyrinth.
how do you
It's
do
gonna
it
be
without David?
weird.
So you know what I've heard they're going to do? They're going to hologram him.
Oh, they better do it right.
I
They
was-
better
Better do it
screw
right.
that up
I
real
honestly
quick
would
and
rather
hurry.
they just not. To be 100%
Yeah,
honest,
yeah,
as
I
much as I
would-
love the
don't do it.
idea, I'd
Why-
rather they
So,
just not. Because
speaking
look
of-
what they did to Aladdin.
Yeah, like
I
Oh,
love Will
man.
Smith. Don't get me
The Lion
wrong.
King
I
and
fucking love Will
God
Smith.
damn
I've
it.
I
always
do
loved
too.
Will Smith. Robin Williams, just his
How do you
role as the
follow
genie,
Robin
his
Williams?
shoes were too big for any
Yep.
human being to ever fill.
You don't
So
do it.
kudos to Will Smith for even trying. He did a great
has
job,
nothing to do
but
with
he
the
was
actors.
not the
No.
genie.
Shouldn't have done it.
No.
But nobody else could have done it better than Will
So,
Smith. Like
I
that's
know
the
we
thing.
never want to get into these issues, but what the fuck with the Will Smith Jada Pinkett thing going on right now? I'm sorry.
I heard there's a
about-
thing happening.
I'm
What is
sorry, but
that?
What's going
okay. Jada Pinkett had an affair with one of her children's friends.
What?
This young rapper. I'd have to look it up.
Are
and
you
I,
sure? Because
I'm
that looked.
dead-
I
I'm
thought
dead serious.
that was a hoax.
No, it's very real. She went on her own. She has a podcast.
I'm gonna go on Snopes. This
No,
is a plug for Snopes.com.
there you go, go on Snopes. But she has her own. She's got a decent podcast called The Red Table,
Oh,
and she brings people to the table, and it's pretty serious. It's pretty serious content, and I mean, I think she's brought her mom on. Like she's tackled some serious issues, and she brought her husband on to talk about during their separation her fucking around on him with one of her children's friends.
Oh my god.
And
Are
I'm
you
sorry,
serious?
but here's my issue with this. And if this is true, yeah, look up the Jada Pinkett affair.
Snopes doesn't have anything on it.
Maybe it's not
Jada
you.
Smith Pinkett, right there. It's the first one on there. Jada Pinkett.
Well, I already
scandal?
searched that, and that didn't pull any results.
You might
Snopes, help us out here.
Come on, Snopes. You're actually usually supposed to. Be
Snopes
pretty
is
decent.
honestly so useful, though. Like, it really is. If you're an intelligent human being that likes to actually check facts before you just make assumptions and opinions about things,
Yeah.
Oh, you mean like a lot of liberals
Like
and
basically
Republicans
everybody?
Right now? I'm so tired of that stuff. I could. Okay.
That's why I was like, "Are you sure?" Because I thought that
No,
was just.
it is
a
not. It is
scandal.
not a hoax. Jada Pinkett Smith explains why her affair wasn't a transgression. She had an affair with Augustus Alsina, whatever. And there's picture here. Ready for this? I can't show this. Here's a picture of these two together. This
So
guy.
how recent is that?
It's very recent. This guy is a friend of like their son. And she was screwing around with this guy while they were kind of having an affair.
wow.
Now here's my problem, guys. This is and we, you know what? This is a whole other Oprah right here. Here's my problem. If Will Smith had dated one of his daughter's friends, he'd be considered a pedophile.
Oh,
his career
yeah.
would be over and all that
So
stuff.
it's double
And all these
standard
people are
crap.
Right?
saying Jada's
Yeah.
being brave by coming out. You're a fucking cheating whore. I mean, what the
Yeah.
fuck? I mean, just own it. I mean, here's the thing. Okay, you know what? You're not a cheating whore. You guys are separated. You can do whatever the fuck you want to do.
if there is a
you
piece of
guys'
paper that's
business.
currently stating you're married to somebody, it's fucking cheating and you're a piece of
Thank
shit.
you,
End of
Marcus.
story.
Tell you
I don't
what,
care how
divorce
famous, I don't care how rich you
finalized,
are.
yeah.
If you cheated, you fucking cheated.
I
So-
know.
It's
Hey,
not that hard.
Okay,
But
I'm
will
gonna
you
put
agree-
in my 2 cents here. I'm separated.
Okay, well
And I'm
that's
not-
different because you're not actively claiming to be in a relationship with that
Well,
person.
no, they were now evidently they were separated.
Okay.
at the
they
time
were
of
separated
this.
that this happened.
Okay.
But from what I'm understanding, when you get separate now, I've been separated from a marriage and then divorced. Jessica is
I've
in the middle of a
technically been
divorce.
married, but I've been in
Now,
a
what I will
long
tell you is
relationship about 4
those
years.
those dynamics that you come up with. Okay, are we separated and seeing other people? I mean,
Yeah.
you come up with those.
Right.
That's you two's
That's
decision.
between the two people.
Okay.
Absolutely.
What I understand is Will Smith and her separated. That was not in the cards. It was we're separating to give each other space, not separating to go fuck your son's best friend.
Wow.
Okay.
So whatever it may be.
So his definition of it and her definition of it apparently were on the
Yeah, but
total
my
opposite
irritation
spectrum.
is
It was a situation of
why
miscommunication.
are people?
Yeah.
Why is Me Too and stuff like that not going after her now? Because if Will Smith had done just the exact same thing, he'd be the piece of
plastered.
shit.
How
Yeah.
old
He'd
is
be
the guy?
railroaded. 24, 22 now.
And how old is she? Well, I mean, I
She's
guess
in her
age
50s.
doesn't matter.
She's in her 50s.
But
It doesn't
still.
matter. But so I mean, there's that kind of situation, and so I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. But it's kind of this is why and folks that are starting to like Off the Wall. There are 7 ways to Sunday of different political views in this room. We're not bringing you our political views.
Mm.
It's the way that Gemma even runs her movie sets. Your politics. Your politics.
Whoa.
Your
Woo! Have
politics
another drink,
are
buddy.
politics.
Your politics, your religion, and your personal views stay outside. We're here to entertain you. That's just only one of my
So-
questions because of living in Hollywood. It's like, if it was Will Smith, and I think Will Smith's a great
Well-
guy, and I disagree with some of his politics.
And regardless, why do scandals in Hollywood get so much respect? Why is it a
Oh,
good
yeah.
thing
Thank you.
when you're like,
Yes.
oh, I'm on the cover of US Magazine because I cheated on my
Because of
wife who
this.
also starred in this
Yeah.
TV show and blah, 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 blah. Why should that get respect?
I mean,
It should-
here's
In
another
any
thing.
other normal
No.
day, cheating ruins people's lives.
It
Yeah.
ruins entire families. and
Exactly.
stuff like
It
that, and we're
tears
making it
people
okay.
apart.
You know what? It's funny you bring that up. How long have we dealt with? If you really seriously think about it, look it up sometime. How long have we dealt with Brad
Oh,
and Jennifer
I don't know.
Aniston?
Fuck.
Not Angelina. Brad and Jennifer Aniston breaking up. That was like 15 effing years ago or something along
Yeah.
those lines. And you still can't walk through the supermarket
Without
without
hearing
seeing
about
them in the
it.
tabloids every other
It's
month.
just
So-
like,
Right.
Brad and Jennifer back together.
Oh my gosh,
So-
they looked at each other.
Oh,
Right. Exactly,
okay,
that's the
you
thing.
guys got to remember, misery loves company. And
Well,
people
that's true.
Love the
Now-
reality
People
of
want the drama
shittiness
more
of
than,
life.
oh, Jennifer
Yes. They would rather
Aniston
hear
won her
the
next
crappy
Grammy, or
stuff about how people's
Now-
lives are going than the good on how they're
the one thing.
successfully.
because then people feel better about their own lives. Because
Yeah.
if celebrities' lives suck, then I guess I shouldn't be
I
bitching
don't
about
get it.
mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
It
the one
just
thing that I will
humanizes
say,
them.
It's just yeah.
the one thing
that's
that I
fair.
will say is
That's a good way to put it, Jessica. I like that.
Yeah.
That actually is really good. The one thing that I'll say about Hollywood is when I was living there, I had a business associate that was working for. A lot of people don't realize that Brad Pitt, who I have a lot of respect for, whether you like him or not, he's actually a pretty cool human being. Loved his booze for way too many years. He's admitted it. Okay, but when him and Jennifer Aniston were married, they hired an individual that I worked with, and I can't mention names, but I lost all respect I had for Jennifer Aniston, and my friend will refer to him as Delta. I got to go completely off what I'm talking about, but Delta worked for Jennifer Aniston, and they were during a separation period. A lot of people don't realize that the movie Troy, the executive producers and those people who funded Troy was Jennifer Aniston and Brad Pitt. And so when my associate Delta was working for Jennifer Aniston, look, this guy was a veteran and I trust what he says. So, but people need to take whatever I say with a grain of salt. Jennifer Aniston would have him call. There's 2 media entities in the Hollywood area, and she would call and have her favorite 8 photographers told where she was going to be that day and what she was doing before she left.
Right, but then when they show up, she'll be all, "Oh, I'm bashful. I'm just on my way to the restaurant to
And
have my
that's-
lunch."
That's when my friend Delta was also one of the people. He worked as a producer on a show called I can't. What was it? You remember the show with the British nanny where she would go in and like fix these people's problems?
Yeah, there was a version of that was on TLC
Vague
at
and
one
shit like
point
that.
too.
Okay.
Nanny 911, I think, is what it was
Yeah.
called.
Yes.
Yeah, something
And
like
so
that.
he was a producer on that show, and
Hold.
that's the guy.
I would just start your whole thing over.
I'll go with it. I know where to start from.
Okay. I can literally hear the vibrations through the ground.
floor.
Like I can hear the rumble.
I can feel it, so I know you've got to be.
Yeah. It's not horrible. It's just inconsistent audio, and it's hard to fix inconsistencies like that when you're editing.
Two.
There's 2. They do 3, right?
So, 4.
The first one was like really quick. I don't know.
Yeah.
That might mean something different.
I mean,
I'm sure.
Who was a little kid like going, "Choo."
Right? Okay.
3, 2, 1. So Delta was also working for a show, and it was called something like, it was a British nanny. I can't remember what it was. We talked about it, like, would you call it rescue?
There was one show I know that's called like Nanny 911
Something along
that
those
did
lines.
something
Anyway.
like that. Yeah.
So he's a producer on that show, and they would go in, and he did this back in the day before you did this, and he recorded himself, and they would go in, and these people's homes would be absolutely trashed, and all the producers had to clean the house because they basically had like 2 days to shoot this thing, and they go in, they do this stuff about how they were gonna change all this stuff and then make the kid's mind. And then the reveal was the house was clean and the producers were doing it. And that was about the time that the writer's strike happened in Hollywood, which I was a part of. And a lot of people don't realize that the writer's strike happened in Hollywood because all these reality shows were so fake, and they had writers, and they weren't giving these writers basically WGA writing credits and royalties. They were giving them like associate producer, like, these people were writing these shows, and they weren't getting credit. So when they told everybody, and we went on strike as writers, that most people don't remember what happened. That was supposed to be a 2-month strike. It lasted for up to a year. People, I mean, I lost my home. There were some bunch of us that were homeless. I've lived on Skid Row. Like, we can talk about that someday or what have you. But anyway, Jennifer Aniston, a lot of people have to realize who her father was. Her father was one of the best daytime soap opera actors to ever exist. He was Victor Kiriakis on Days of Our Lives.
Okay.
That's her dad. She grew up in the business. She played everybody like a fiddle. You know, and then they even keep talking about her now, like, oh my God, Jennifer Aniston is 50 and she looks so amazing.
I'm not gonna lie, I'd fuck her so, like,
I mean,
no questions
for
asked.
50,
I would
like-
pound the shit out of that woman,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and a lot of other things I'm not willing to admit on recording.
But what's interesting is, like,
Not murder or anything weird.
everyone
I
talks
promise.
about how she's taking care of herself. Jennifer Aniston and Brad Pitt and a couple other people have been proponents and examples of growth hormone therapy for the last 20 years. You know who the biggest one is? Demi Moore.
Really?
Yes. Come on, man.
That surprises me. I feel like Demi. Well, I guess no. I take that back. Never mind.
Growth hormone
She's
therapy
been in the
is not-
tabloids a lot.
Yeah, growth hormone therapy is not a bad. It's actually really good for you. And these people, that's how they've been fighting off age. You know, now I was a little bit disappointed that Demi Moore decided to come out and talk about, if you've been in the business and you've been out there, she's like, Ashton Kutcher made me do threesomes and stuff like that. Really? Because you were doing that shit back in the 80s. So let's Let's hold back
Also,
on your.
fuck you for complaining about being a part of a three-way with Ashton Kutcher. End of that.
Exactly.
Go fuck yourself.
I mean, like, I would totally whatever.
I think I made it very clear about my sexuality at this
Speaking of
point in time, and
The
I would
Witcher.
eat that man alive.
Oh, really? So getting back to okay, hold on. You don't ever come out with. Are you all about Henry Cavill of The Witcher?
The way he looks there now, Superman. No thanks.
Oh, you want him as The Witcher?
I want him as Superman.
I want him as the
Oh
Witcher.
my!
I want him as Superman.
So speaking of Netflix, have you seen The Witcher?
Actually, no.
Oh,
I haven't.
Marcus, god dang, dude. You know what? It's
You guys
interesting.
act like I have all this time to do
no,
this
I
kind
know
of
that
stuff
is
with.
true.
Yeah.
That's fair.
You know,
Because you don't.
What's really fun is Jamie and I had to go on a road trip and we listened to the audiobooks from the author that wrote
It was
the
so
series.
cool.
I've
The
heard
first-
it's absolutely
They-
fantastic.
The guy that they got to do the audible is so fantastic.
He's brilliant.
He's
This
so
guy
cool.
will sit and do like 20 different characters and like go back and forth and argue in different
that
dialects.
takes talent.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's
I've
what
done
you
work
and I
that
have been wanting
requires
to
that
do.
kind of
However
stuff,
they
but
cut
that takes it
was
to a whole
amazing.
other level.
It was fantastic.
And but we watched the Witcher series and it's not like the book, but I mean
well, at least you can
the
visually
majority of their
see
characters.
The characters.
Kudos to their casting department.
Mm-hmm.
What I thought was pretty cool is when the author, he's a Polish author. He's a brilliant. I think he kicks the shit out of what's her name that does Henry Potter. Now, she did a good job, but
Did you just say Henry Potter?
Yeah,
Henry?
you
Did I say Henry Potter?
Yeah.
You did say Henry
You
Potter.
need to just be happy that I'm not flying across this room
I'm
right
sorry,
now.
Marcus. I saw you give me that look. I'm like,
I was seriously like,
I had Henry Cavill in my hand,
Oh,
and I
this
was
is not
thinking
a
about
Harry
H
Potter
to the
fan.
H to the ARRY. No.
Oh, that's so
Oh.
embarrassing that I just even said it that way. Anyway,
I will always defend him. I don't care if he's fictional or not.
no.
Just because you're 20 steps ahead doesn't mean you've said it.
Okay. I love you, Your Highness, but go fuck yourself for pointing that out to me. Anyway, but the author that did the Witcher series is brilliant. The depth that he went into, like, I would attribute. He kind of reminds me of J.R.R. Tolkien, who made. I mean, come on, this guy wrote those books on like napkins and shit in the trenches of World War One. He created something like, and I'm totally off base here, but the guy developed like 27 different languages for his book. He's the guy that developed Elven Speak that is used in like all kinds of other stuff. J.R.R. Tolkien was brilliant, and it really sucks that the guy obviously he's long past
Right.
before he got to see the fruits of his beautiful labors. That's where like people said, what author could you bring back? And I got into a kind of not a debate, a very fun, friendly debate. If I could bring anybody back, I would bring back, and damn it if I didn't, just because I'm on the air or forget it, I would bring back Stan Lee. How many people's lives were changed because Stan Lee gave people an exit, gave them an
That's
out?
fair. Yeah.
And I just, when you have an author, then when you, as a writer, when you can take people away from their everyday life, I mean, who did it better than Stan Lee?
Well, let's be honest. I love
Yeah.
Harry Potter. How many years did it take for Harry Potter to get to where it's at now?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
The moment that Hollywood got their hands on Stan Lee's work,
Yeah.
he was set.
Yeah.
That
And
whole
I love-
franchise was set, and
And
look
I-
where
He
it's
was
gone.
set for, those comics, I read those when I was little. Like,
You know what's funny is, what I heard?
driving road trips. That's
Right.
what I would go to.
Right.
I heard that Stan Lee they have 20, this is probably completely off, but they have, for other movies that Marvel Comics is supposed to do, they have pre-filmed 20 Stan Lee cameos that will go into like these Marvel comics for years to come. I
What
think
kind
he's
of movie is it? Well, like, what the fuck's the point of even watching it if you're not going to get the Stan Lee cameo?
If you can't get your
like,
Stan
they're
Lee
already
cameo,
too far
why?
into it to stop doing that.
Yeah, and I mean, just
Thank you to
mean,
modern technology.
So I mean, if I could bring any writer back And I'm a Louis L'Amour fan. I'm a fan of all kinds of other writers as a writer. But Stan Lee gave so many people
The impact that his work had
that
was...
it did. And here's the thing. I'm not a huge Marvel Comics fan.
Same.
I'm a huge fan of that man's work.
Right.
You know? So getting back to Netflix, so you have a thing for Geralt of Rivia.
Well, I mean, it's the character, but who they casted for that, you know, and when I watch different movies, I'm like, how do they know, like, this person was built, and that guy was built for that role?
Oh, hell
Hands
yeah.
down.
And you start to
You're
listen to
just
what
like,
he
who
does
else-
to do his shirt off
Who
stuff.
else could do that? I'm like, well, maybe, God, I can't remember his dang name. The guy that played on Clash of the Titans.
He is a really underrated actor.
That guy, but there was another dude who was one of the knights where he had long hair. Very stoic dude.
In
who-
what are we talking about? In
Clash of the Titans. He was one of the guys that was like, my daughter was killed and I'm gonna kill this witch.
he was the guy that was in Polar.
Yeah. Yep.
That actor who
I
got
can't
his start
remember his
in
dang name.
one of the James Bond movies.
Yeah, so he would be the only other guy that I think would fit that role because of his voice and his
There's a lot of roles like
demeanor.
that. Like,
Yeah.
let's be honest. Going back to Harry Potter, who else would have fucking played Harry Potter than Daniel Radcliffe? Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't
No.
even make sense.
No,
No.
I mean,
Or
Some people
Hermione,
truly
or-
are just born for their roles.
You're just like, this is insane.
you know, I know we were gonna go on a. I mean, Netflix is kind of Netflix chill and drink is what we're talking about.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
I real quick, I just gotta give Stranger Things a shout out. Have you guys ever
Stranger
watched?
I've heard. You know,
Holy
Okay,
shit,
first
Stranger
season-
Things is so good.
First season, amazing. Second season, I kind of, they kind of went off track. And then third season, I haven't even finished it.
Oh, see, I'm the opposite. I think each season's gotten better, and
I think
like
it's gotten worse. I think they had something beautiful in the first season, and the rest has been trash.
really,
Mads
you know.
McNelson.
Sorry.
no, you're
Matt-
good. I
Matt-
mean, everybody
Matt
has their own
West.
opinion. I
Yeah.
personally
You know-
love it.
You know what I like
That
about
guy, I
those
think,
guys?
could've
See, I
played
know
him.
about like you and I tend to study the people. Like, if I have fuck you money and
Or
I can
even
give my boy
Luke
a gift,
Evans.
I'm giving you a day with Hans Zimmer. Like, you feel me? Like, I mean, that's what I would love to
But I
give
don't
to
know,
you.
that's a stretch.
I study the guys that have been making Stranger Things. They had a class basically where they told people how they needed. They shot this as an '80s show, and they told people how to go into their TVs, and they had to turn off certain things so that you could watch it the way that they shot it. And they shot it as an '80s show, and if you turned off, like, I'm really completely off here, but it was something about how modern TVs have a following thing where sometimes you'll watch a person like walk across a screen and it looks very contrived, like it's almost computerized, but it's not. And there's a way to turn that off. And they told people, look it up sometime, it's fascinating. They told people how to turn that off to watch Stranger Things so they could watch it in that
Actual
that
like, 80s
80s
aesthetic
glory
that they
that
try
they
to...
shot it in. The actor that we were talking about is Sam Worthington, who played Perseus in Clash of the Titans. That guy. Mads
And
Mikkelsen.
also Luke Evans could have as well.
Oh, Luke Evans, that's your boy.
Yeah.
Luke Evans is the guy that played the dude Dracula.
Yeah.
And he's hot. You're just upset. No. You know why she's upset? Because his partner is
They're
gorgeous
both
too.
gorgeous men.
These are gorgeous
Beautiful men.
And you know why she's upset? She knows that she can't be with him. That's what it comes down to.
I
call
can
it what it
relate.
is. Yeah, she's like, he wouldn't have me, and I'm going, what the fuck are you talking about? Well,
Yeah.
no, I mean, but he is. He's a gorgeous fucking man. He's a great actor, you know. But as far as like coming out on Netflix, like I think The Witcher. I think Marco Polo was the first thing that took Netflix to another era of we're gonna do our own independent content. Now, was The Bastard Executioner a Netflix show?
God, it's been so long I can't remember.
And you know nothing about that.
No, I
The Bastard Executioner.
They've
I've
kept
heard of it,
hush,
but
hush, and I
It
don't
was
know why.
it was one season, and it was Kurt Sutter that wrote The Sons of Anarchy and Mayans MC. He wrote it, and he's in it, and his wife's in it too. The same two people that were in Sons of Anarchy. it was too real. It was too real about that era. And I think that the network spent way too much money on it right off the bat.
The scenes and to make all the bloodiness and the realism in it, I think it was so hard to do. And making the buildings to where it was legit in that area.
It was so real.
To the clothing, to people, the way they kept their hair, their ages, of each person that played each role. I think it was just so many small details that I think
Like they clearly researched their history
they
before
had
producing
to,
this.
And if you were to ever watch it,
oh my god, that's
Which
so
unfortunately
awesome.
doesn't happen often.
No.
No.
And I think Hulu's carrying it now. They only had one season. But the interesting thing about it is, like, listen to the dialogue sometime, Marcus, because
It's been so long. I can't
they
even
do
remember.
the way they speak is so ridiculously
Proper.
old English proper.
Mhm.
They would be like, if you were talking to me, like, I say nay, sir, but they said it in a way where it was real, and you could tell that the actors had to seriously do their research, you know.
Right.
But once again, I think Netflix did it. You know,
Netflix
so,
doesn't just fund any old project. If
No.
they're
Well, look what
they
they
have
made.
clearly have a very good taste,
Have you
because
ever
I've
watched-
never
Yeah.
not liked something that they
have you ever
had.
watched Frontier?
Oh,
On
Frontier's
Netflix?
another good one.
You got Jason Momoa playing a
Ugh.
native. Oh, really?
I don't like him.
Yeah,
You're
I don't
not- you're
like
not a
him
Momo-
either.
I don't think he's a bad person or anything. I don't think he's a bad actor. I just don't like him.
I don't.
I don't
either.
find him attractive. I
I'm
don't-
with you. Thank you. I'm like the only person that I know is like Jason Momoa. He looks like he's constantly surprised.
Right, and like he's good at acting. Like he's not a bad person. I don't hate him.
Right.
I
Yeah.
just
He just
Not physically.
if it
attracted
came
to
down to
him.
him and like 16 other celebrities' dicks, his wouldn't be the one in my mouth. Let's just put it that way.
I actually.
I
would
love it
probably
when
pick
Marcus
a
gets
random
fucking real,
stranger.
because it's like, okay.
Now I am taken, so this is contingent upon my relationship. I will say, but
I'll
This
bet
is
if we had.
just hearsay.
I'm
But
curious.
let's
if
be
we had
honest.
your
I'm sure my
hotness here.
boyfriend would probably be here saying, "Yeah, I'd suck his dick too."
I
So
say
we would
he
just
would,
suck it
alright.
together, and it would be a
Yeah,
couple
yeah,
thing,
yeah.
and it'd be fine.
Yeah,
Polly-
that's
Yeah.
fair. That's
Polly, baby. It's Polly. It's a close triad. Okay, so let's just talk about his name. Okay, he is a big name right now.
Yeah.
Oh,
For him
absolutely.
For
Yeah.
him to do a Canadian, which we found this is a Canadian-made film, for him to do a Canadian film on Netflix, that's huge. That's a monster. To be able to start to get now
What was the first big show that he was a part of? Was he in Game of Thrones?
Baywatch.
Baywatch.
He
Okay.
He was on Baywatch.
Because I know
Was he
that
really?
once
He was on
Aquaman.
Baywatch?
He was on Baywatch, and
You
he
serious?
was young. He wasn't very big.
Oh no! Okay, hold on. You're talking about the original
Baywatch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, because I don't know
That's
why my
where
Because
Momoa
like
got
I
his
never
start.
really even knew he existed, and then
No.
Aquaman came out,
Right.
and then he just
I
all of a
didn't know
sudden
he
is all
existed
over the
until,
place.
Game of Thrones.
So he was in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, he
I
was,
never
uh,
actually watched Game of
He
Thrones.
was the rapist husband.
Okay.
Called Drago or whatever his
Yeah,
name was. in that.
Drago.
A great part, but the he did.
I fucking hate Game of Thrones.
That's what you said. You know, it's interesting because I watch some of it and I enjoy, and some of it I don't. But what's
I'm
another-
sorry, but once the whole Starbucks cup thing happened, I'm like,
If
fuck you
you-
guys.
If you what was that? What?
It was season 9 when that
Somebody
happened. It was
who was in charge of
Oh,
fucking
shit.
yeah.
The
what's
set.
the word? Rick was
Says
really good at
props.
that. But yes,
Continuity.
yes, continuity. Thank you.
Did they actually
Their
let the
continuity
Starbucks
person.
cup-
They filmed, and it was in the final cut that was released on
How
HBO.
is it-
There was a fucking Starbucks
How
cup
do you not-
sitting on the table in
How
a
do you
scene.
not fire that editor?
I don't
how
know
do
if
you
they
not
fired him
fire
or
that
not.
editor?
I don't
Oh my
know.
God.
But it made it all the way through everything to the final cut,
So-
and it was not caught until it was on HBO.
I don't know how you're into independent movies,
Jesus.
but one of the best independent movies I have ever seen. You ready for this? Is a Jason Momoa film,
Oh yeah.
and it's
The Road to
called The
Paloma?
Road to Paloma. And I'm telling you, you would watch that movie because of how you and I have to make movies with Gemma and stuff like that. I know you're not into him, Jessica, but you got to watch it. It is.
What is it?
It's called The Road to Paloma.
Oh, independent movies? You said
it's
it
an
wasn't
in-
into them.
Yeah, it's an independent movie, but it is.
Well, it's got Jason Momoa in it.
It's amazing.
Oh,
and he has
yeah.
his wife in it. The gal that used to be on.
I love his wife.
The gal that used to. Oh,
Oh, I really
How-
love his wife.
wow. There was a little bit more behind that than.
Are there more Angry Orchards? Just real quick. Side note.
No.
No. Okay.
That was the last one.
Do I need to get you another drink, bro?
I mean, it's fine. I was just curious because that sounded good.
We'll
But,
finish this and
You
then
want a
I'll
dirty
make you another
chest?
drink.
I mean, sure.
If you need some of my vodka, make a dirty Jess for him.
Okay, well, I'll be right back.
You dirty.
Make it
whore.
as dirty as you want to make
Make
it.
it as dirty.
So speaking of side note, I know this is totally useful. So
did
I
you-
went
did
to
you-
Subway.
Hold on, before we get. Did you see that? Did she have a girl crush on Momoa's wife?
Yeah. Yeah.
She's okay. If
She's
you're listening to the
stomping
show,
back.
she is in the other room.
Behind my back!
She's in the other room.
Did you just see that? Yeah, I can
What's her name?
hear.
Lisa Bonet.
Yes.
She's an amazingly beautiful woman.
Yes, she's gorgeous.
She is. And they got, they
People
got
make fun of me for my female celebrity
No.
crushes.
Oh no,
Do you know who my all-time favorite female celebrity crush is?
Lady Gaga.
Oh God, no. I
Really?
love her as an artist. I admired Lady Gaga more than anybody can understand. Mila Kunis.
Oh,
She is so
Yeah.
attractive in every way possible. It's not even funny.
Book of Eli, Jamie.
She's been in so much stuff.
I think that she is
I
some of.
I
like
think
her as
she's
a person,
gorgeous.
but as-
I think she's
Yeah,
one of
that's
the
fair. In
most
her own
underrated
beauty.
actresses.
And her in
Hollywood.
the movie, what is it, Friends with Benefits, when she does that one with Justin Timberlake, who I also have a big crush on. It is a very confusing bisexual mess to watch that film. Let me just say. Because the entire time I'm like, who do I want to fuck
No.
more, her or
Yes.
him?
Him.
Shit.
And what's funny is I met her like in passing.
Mila?
And she is as sweet and as amazing as you
That
can
doesn't even
imagine.
surprise me.
And
She seems like
when I
it.
heard she married
She's
Ashton,
so amazing.
I'm not gonna lie to you.
Who was
I was-
also extremely
I was
attractive.
pissed as I was like, I think Mila's hot, and she's educated. She speaks 3 languages. She's
Right?
no
She
joke.
actually has culture. She's not just like this
Yeah.
piece of...
No, she's not just some
I don't even know
actress
what to
that's
call
like,
it, but...
I'm
Yeah.
just pretty and mommy put me in front of the camera.
Right.
No, she is an educated woman.
She
and
has a
she is
story, she has
brilliant.
history, she's cultured,
And she
and
don't-
that's exactly
she
why I want to put my dick in her. I mean, trust me, she's a lot more than just that. I want a lot more than that, but I can't deny.
Well, the
my
one thing
God.
that I can do that you can't, Marcus, is I can. I have a dick and I can take it off.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Uh,
Whatever she pleases.
Once again, we have an episode that we're gonna have to rate
my God.
explicit.
I was gonna say, and I'm also gonna have to put Mila, I'm sorry,
I'm
in the
sorry.
title
We'll
of this
have to-
episode.
We've got to apologize to all of
I
our crushes.
solely apologize.
Please no, I mean
you're
all
more
the
than
love.
That, but...
Oh, my God. So, ladies and gentlemen, Jessica motherfucking May is in the other room making a drink.
I'm making a drink and it's gonna be delicious.
So,
Yes.
Jessica, who's your other Hollywood crush?
I don't know. I have lots of them.
But Lisa Bonet is like, right?
Yeah, she's not like, yeah. I mean,
Wow.
she's pretty good.
So we actually get to ask a funny question. So we'll get back to what we're getting into with like Netflix and chill.
Yeah, we're totally off topic.
No, this is actually pretty awesome. But so, I mean, Marcus, you're a good-looking dude. So
Aw, thanks.
I mean,
Aw.
you're a good-looking guy.
I had
like,
to ruin it.
Like literally, like you can shave and look like the boy next door, and then we've already talked about it. Grow your hair out and do your beard, and you're on fucking Vikings. Like no bullshit. Like you have that look. So
Like Jason Momoa.
Yeah, look at Lisa. I mean, she is like in her 50s. She looks amazing.
I think so.
I mean, now that I recognize her face, I definitely have seen her and stuff, and I think she's a great
Well,
artist.
she's on the Bill
but, like,
Cosby show.
I don't
you know,
personally
Oh.
find her like,
Right.
but you know,
She's beautiful though.
Oh, she is.
You know who else like she kind of reminds me of is the gal that played the medical examiner in CSI Miami.
Yes.
Extremely
Yeah.
beautiful woman who's older.
She just looks like she'd be really hot in bed. Like.
oh
really,
yeah,
Like,
Wow.
she'd be a beast.
Well, we're all being like
Thank you, darling.
educated here, and she's like,
Ooh,
she'd
even
fuck really
in the
good. I mean, that's just
Yeah.
so.
That's the
Women
dirty
can
Jess.
have
All right.
dude moments.
So- Yeah.
Okay,
oh,
that's fucking delicious.
Marcus has
I
drank
know,
the dirty
right?
Jess. Is it? It's good, isn't it?
It's dirty.
Like it's dirty. It's naughty.
It's dirty.
It's naughty. Oh wow! Now we can do the accents all of a sudden.
You didn't want
Dick me down and
That's really good. I like that a lot.
There it
Yeah,
is
isn't it
again.
delicious?
There it is again.
Like, you
Still
should text me the recipe so I can, like...
Make it.
Yeah,
it.
but I'll make sure I give you credit. Like, I
Okay.
promise I'll give you credit.
this
So,
ep-
side note, at Subway,
Okay. Yeah.
I got a sandwich the other
fresh.
day.
I will text you that.
this episode of Off the Wall brought to you by the Dirty Jess. Anyway.
Not the pedophile part of Subway. Just Subway.
Yeah, just Subway.
Just want to
That's-
throw that
yeah.
out there. We're not part of the
No.
gross...
So we go to Subway to get a wrap, and I'd like.
Oh,
I like tomato basil with a
She's
cold
like-
cut combo.
She's like Elvis.
Okay. And I'll
She
be
wants
like,
potato chips on shit.
I'll be like, hey, can I have double
Potato
meat?
chips on sandwiches is life.
Okay.
Right?
Fuck you.
No,
Yeah,
I love it.
it's really good.
So I'll
She
do
got-
Chipotle and mayonnaise, right? And Junior's like, well, why don't you have her put it? I'm like, nah, the first time, but there was nobody. I'm like, fuck it, why not? I was like, hey, hon, can you
She
do me a
opened the
really
bag.
big favor?
This gal was like, "Let's fucking do this,"
So I opened the
and she
bag of
starts
chips,
putting
so I was
lather
like,
and the
"Put
chips
these
on it.
inside."
And she's like, "Yeah," and she's like, she made the most. So if you're ever in Laurel, Montana, you've got to go to the Subway and ask for Michelle because she will make you the Dirty Jamie sandwich.
I was
Elvis.
just gonna ask if it was Michelle. I love Michelle.
She's amazing, man.
No, not. I know Michelle outside of her job as well. I
Okay,
know her
really?
like
Oh, okay.
individually.
You-
She lives right next to my
You
parents.
gotta
and, like,
give her
At first,
props,
when
man.
she denied me my double meat sandwich, I was like, "Oh, you little turd!" And then she's like, "Well, it's just hard to close it." But then when she found out that I don't hardly put anything on it, she's like, "Yeah,
She's all
yeah,
about
let's
making
do
us
this."
perfect.
Did you guys know she's a photographer?
Is she
I did
really?
She
not
is.
know.
She's actually a
can
really
see
good
that.
photographer.
Wow.
So anyway, if you're in Laurel, go to okay. So we're gonna start our free sponsors. Actually after 5 episodes, our free sponsor is you gotta go to the Subway in Laurel, Montana, and see Michelle. She's amazing. She will put potato chips.
Or Subway
On your
in
sandwich.
general. I mean,
I like
Subway is
Subway.
just
We
great.
really do
I love
too.
Subway.
You know, and
Like,
that's why I was upset.
People
when
try to argue Subway versus Jimmy John's.
You
No.
can't.
They're
They're
two
both
very
good.
different things.
Yes.
They're not.
Yes.
Yes,
They're not
they
even the
both
same
make
shit.
sandwiches.
And then Jersey Mike's.
I haven't had Jersey
I
Mike's,
haven't done
either.
Jersey Mike's either.
Oh.
but I will say, this is gonna be off. This is not going in the episode. The owner of that company is a fucking bitch.
Okay.
Of Jersey
What?
Mike's.
Jersey Mike's, the owner of that company, is the most unpleasant person I've ever worked with.
Oh, that
We do
sucks.
their payroll.
Oh, okay.
Really?
Avitas Group does all the business shit
Cut.
for Jersey Mike's. So
Of
I
course.
know the inside. Yeah,
Okay, we won't say that,
Whoa,
but
we'll
it's
say that
delicious.
on. Okay.
it is. I agree. I'll
Okay.
cut that other part out. I promise.
3, 2, 1. Yeah, we had to cut some stuff out there that we were talking about behind the scenes.
I got a
and-
little too aggressive.
Yeah,
it's fine.
yeah. Marcus,
The dirty
Marcus,
just started coming out of his
Marcus
mouth.
went off.
I drank the dirty Jess,
The
and now I'm
Dirty
becoming
Jess
her.
is just- yeah. Oh my God. Okay, so who is obviously Jess likes both. So Jess,
Hmm.
if you have your Hollywood one-off, male and female, who are they?
I don't really know. Like, I started watching that new Zac Efron show on Netflix, and I'm like, well done, dude. And I hear that he's single right now, so I have a chance.
Well played. Okay, and your female one-off, because we know you like the women too.
I don't really know. That's more like a personality thing.
Okay, well, so right now we're at Lisa Bonet on that one.
But
Jamie,
I don't know if that's like the number one. But yeah, we'll just say
that's
her.
a number.
Say number.
I don't know.
She's on the
this
list.
is really hard.
Jamie, you've almost been married to a woman, so we need to ask your woman first.
Oh God. She might not appreciate it, but Sarah Sigmund's daughter.
Oh, no shit.
She's not an actor, but she just has. I mean, I sure as hell couldn't keep up.
Who's that?
She's
she is a CrossFit
star.
athlete.
She's like your typical Viking woman from Iceland.
Dude, some of those
and
people that do CrossFit like at that level are fucking insane.
they're
Mhm.
fucking amazing.
She
I
She
got.
at first I was like, no, I'm not a fan, but
Marcus, I would like to let you know that as her husband, I would allow her to marry Sarah Sigmund's daughter.
but
I am completely okay
but
with
but
it.
competition Sarah is different from
Regular Sarah.
regular Sarah, which I can relate because in the gym I mean mug everything and everyone, not on purpose, just because I'm doing my thing.
Right.
But But yeah, she is I think an all-around bubbly, funny person. But when it's
She is
down and
amazing.
gritty, you better get the hell out of the way.
And men.
Oh gosh.
And you can't choose Dwayne Johnson.
No, I can't.
I love Dwayne Johnson.
I
I'm just
and-
gonna
and
throw
I
it
love
out
Dwayne
there.
Johnson, but
The fact that he didn't start his career
Yep.
in the
In the
film
industry.
industry, the
Yeah.
fact that he never really actually, I think, intended. I mean, I'm not Dwayne Johnson. I'm not a part of his personal life. I don't know. But I feel like he did not intend for his film career to take off the way it did.
The way it did.
But
I
I
agree.
am so fucking glad it did, because he honestly has had so many cool roles.
yeah.
I would have never in a million years
He's never-
expected for him to play, what's his name? The god from the movie Moana, which
Oh,
is
yeah.
a phenomenal
I
movie. If
know.
you guys have never seen Moana, you need to
That's
change
so
that.
fun.
Yeah, change it.
Hey,
Not
You're-
Loki.
no, you're welcome.
You're what?
You're
What
welcome.
can I say except
Yes.
you're welcome?
Exactly. Yes.
And I'm gonna need that
Like-
boat.
Maui. Thank
Hey,
you.
it's
That's his
okay
name.
Except
Maui.
you're welcome.
But
'Cause
yeah,
Maui can do everything.
10
but
years
float.
ago, nobody would have ever expected for
No.
Dwayne Johnson
No.
to be doing a
Absolutely
voice for a
not.
Disney movie. But he does it so well that the movie industry wouldn't like we can't not have
He-
Dwayne Johnson involved in things
crushed
now.
that movie. Like he just like
He doesn't
made
even sing.
Moana.
He's never even claimed to sing,
No.
and here he
Yeah.
And he
is.
crushed it.
Absolutely. And I don't care about anybody that can like basically rap that one part of "You're
Maui,
welcome."
and when he starts doing
Something
that,
with I know the word coconut is in
Yeah.
there somewhere.
Yeah.
don't mess with Maui, and he's on a breakaway, and he starts going through that whole thing.
Yeah.
It's like I
for
don't care,
for
you don't
somebody
pretend
to
that.
be involved in that world and not actually have like history and experience as a singer or an artist or a performer. I mean, I get he is a performer, but in a different way.
right.
To be able to just jump into what he's done and in the time that
Marcus,
he's been
you've gotta
involved,
watch because he produced.
love him.
You've got to watch his movie, Fighting with My Family.
Did he produce it?
Yes.
Okay, see,
so
I
a
didn't
lot of
even know
people
he
realize- okay,
produced anything
so I'm not
originally.
taking away from Jamie. Did you figure out what your man is yet?
It's tough because it okay.
There's so many to choose
I-
from.
I went on a
I'm
rant.
not-
Dwayne Johnson got brought
Yeah,
up, and I
there
was
you go.
like,
I'm a little screwed up on the fact that I like the persona of certain characters. I like the masculine part.
right, like
like,
some actors are
it's-
only hot when
Yeah.
they are this person.
Yes,
Yes.
and it's even better when they are actually really outgoing and stuff like that. But one of them is Luke Evans.
And Luke Evans is such an
Be-
amazing
because
actor.
he did so well in Dracula.
Have you
he
seen
did
his
so well
man,
in,
his husband?
I've
No.
They're
seen
both hot.
what one?
anything
straight,
that
I'm
his
going, those
face
guys
shows
are
up
hot.
in. I will
Hulu
cream
thing
myself.
that we watched.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
okay, because
I-
we're poly. They have a movie out called
God.
Professor Marston and the Wonder Women.
Yes.
Because the guy that created Wonder Woman was the developer. The developer of Wonder Woman was a professor, and he was one of the very first outwardly polyamorous relationships in this country. He had two
over
wives.
a lie detector test.
Over like yeah,
Really?
yeah. I
Yes.
mean,
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So
And I
they,
mean,
they were doing an experiment with the lie detector test, but they fell in love.
with this
Both
this
of
woman.
them fell in love with this woman, and
It's-
it wasn't an error where that was a
Even
big
if you're not poly and if you don't
freaking
agree
no-no.
with the lifestyle, like it's a
They were
beautiful
close
story.
to trial.
Right.
And he passed away from cancer very young, and the two women stayed together for the rest of their lives. It's an amazing story. You're good, man. But so
Good.
yeah, Luke Evans.
But Luke Evans.
I love
and,
him. And in American Horror Story,
He did American Horror Story.
Luke Evans.
Yes.
I'm
Really?
pretty sure he's, unless we're thinking about two different people, and I'm just being a fucking dumbass.
Yeah. You
I'll,
might,
I'll blame it on Jessica's drink if I'm wrong about this. It's all because of her drink.
Yeah.
Because
it's
of the Dirty
really
Jess?
good though, right?
Oh, it's so good. Like, it's my new favorite. Okay, I will admit that I was wrong. I was thinking of somebody else when Luke Evans was mentioned.
10 minutes.
were you thinking of somebody else?
I was thinking of somebody else.
Who are you thinking of?
Evan Peters is who I was thinking of.
Oh, okay. That's another good. I mean,
Oh, Jake Gyllenhaal. Sorry, that's
So-
a big one on mine.
This is.
Is it?
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Okay, you
Okay,
have
I
to
can
guess it.
agree with
Okay.
that.
Sorry, just that reminded me of him.
And
in his
also
underwear.
the guy that played in Polar. Also Clash of the Titans. God, what was his name? Let me see. Is it Clash of the Titans? I think we talked about him. Ooh, wrong one. Yes, Mads Mikkelsen
Or, yeah.
and Mikkelsen. Yeah. He's another cool actor. But then also Henry Cavill, of course. But that's the Witcher. Like I
Right.
said, I like the Witcher persona, the rebel, now he still is a savior, of course, but he just has a different look, a
Right.
little bit grittier
I like
than
Superman.
the Superman. And I like Superman,
I wanna
but
lick
I don't
eggs
like
off of
him
Superman's
as
stomach.
much.
So speaking of like badass Netflix movies and dudes that like shocked me, Thor.
Chris
That's
Hemsworth.
right.
Yes.
Yep, that's another dude.
Oh,
Yep.
Chris
yeah.
Helmsworth came out with
Yep.
a film on Netflix called Extraction.
Oh yes.
I've seen that come
It-
up on my to watch
I-
list, and I
it's
haven't.
Hold on, you ready for this?
Fantastic, yes.
We all know that I am a John Wick nut.
Mm-hmm.
It's the realism and stuff in it. It kicks the shit out of John Wick.
What?
Yeah.
Oh.
It beats John Wick.
Now, Keanu Reeves in them, it's a different era.
No, you
Keanu
can't- yeah.
Reeves trained his ass off. So, and Keanu Reeves is another one off.
I love
But-
him.
But,
It's freaking
I mean,
fantastic.
like, Chris Hemsworth is, like, already in, like, really fucking good shape.
They're two different movies. One is made for action. You know you're going to have
Okay.
these weird tricks. The other one is technically pretty much borderline realistic.
Right.
They went
military.
very
Right,
hard.
like somebody with like Chris Hemsworth, you can't judge his acting ability off of
No.
a movie like Thor.
No,
of
you
course,
can't.
that's so
Babe,
big budget
he has
Hollywood
really
level
great-
shit that like how are you
But
supposed
I
to
was-
actually?
I
Great
was-
comedic timing, though.
Yes.
Oh, his
Yes,
chem-
that's true.
I think the guy needs to do nothing but did anybody ever see the Men in Black International with him? And
I
what's her
didn't
name in it?
mind that actually.
He's
I was
having
really.
everyone, too.
Yeah,
It's
because
I don't
It is
mind
so
it.
freaking. Oh, that's another gal. The gal
See
that
that
plays in Thor with him.
whoa, you just got all kinds of creamy.
Yeah.
Like you got like all hot and bothered. Like
Sorry,
You
she's
got
a
all-
fucking badass.
Okay, so
dude.
this is probably gonna be weird, but there is an actress, and I'm pulling a blank on her name. She's very well known. Anybody that sees her face would recognize her.
What's she
The
been in?
particular role that I'm thinking of that she played very well was in Sons of Anarchy. She was like the mom,
Gemma.
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 Yes.
Yeah.
That's
The
where
gal
Jamie
that-
got her name.
Yeah.
Okay, really?
Yeah,
That's
where
awesome.
Jamie got her name.
Because
That
like
actress,
Jamie,
I don't know
he's
how
like,
old she is, but like she
You
is
act like her, and I'm like, oh fuck.
like she's an older gal, so like most people would say it's very untraditional for somebody my age to find a woman
Yeah.
that age attractive. But like
Maybe
I
she-
love her,
Tessa
and I have
Thompson.
always
Is
thought
that
her
the
shit
girl?
was great.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You're talking about Katie Siegel.
Was that her name?
She
I'm
was
pulling
she was the mom in Married with Children.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, she's been in all sorts
So
of shit.
she was also in that movie that show we were talking about, The Bastard Executioner.
Okay.
She
Yes.
is, I don't know if they're married or not, so I don't want to but she is the spouse or better half of Kurt Sutter, who wrote Sons of Anarchy.
Okay.
They're a couple. You want to hear
That would
something
explain
funny?
a lot.
Look
Right.
up her music. She's a
music?
jazz
That's
singer
right.
that is off the freaking
Ooh.
We were
chart,
gonna do that
man.
one day. We never did. We're
Yeah.
gonna have to look her up again.
She's
Mhm.
amazing. And so that's another. I mean, as far as like an older gal, that's
I should.
Okay.
yeah. Do your thing, girl.
Okay.
We'll
Hi,
see-
everyone.
We will see our beautiful Jessica May, motherfucking May, next episode.
Yes, are we doing? Yes, bye.
Yeah.
So we'll talk
I
soon.
don't have to talk about what we're doing right now.
You know, that's how we go.
In a couple weeks.
we'll do it. But no, I mean, I'm with you. I think that they did not give her what she deserved in playing that role
Drive safe,
as
Jess.
Gemma.
Have a good night.
I
Be
will.
safe.
Thank you.
Thanks
Be
for the
safe.
drink.
Yes. Try lots of wine.
Been 119, man. This guy, I didn't want
I
desserts,
love
but
that
by the
place.
time the guy started by the end, stopped talking to me. I'm
Was
like,
so hitting
I
on
want
her.
dessert.
Flat hitting on her.
I want dessert.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit.
Was so hitting
I want
on her.
dessert.
I'm even like,
You should come and eat.
I'm like looking at him like slow clap, bro.
Next
You're hitting on her
Friday.
right in front of me, man.
The
That's
work
way to do
tables
it.
on Friday.
So anyway, getting back to the Netflix and chill, I'm with you. Like, Jamie got me on The Witcher, and we still watch it. Excited for the next season to come out. Now, I did make her do something. Make her, yeah, like I wear the pants in the relationship. We would do, because after we watch something a couple times, we start to watch how they do it.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
when we want to learn something.
Mm-hmm.
And we would do an episode of The Witcher and an episode of The Mandalorian.
2 totally different movies.
2 completely so far
Or
off the spectrum.
Series, I guess you could say.
You know, and we've been really enjoying watching the behind the scenes in The Mandalorian, which is on Disney Plus.
Recommend anybody watching it.
Yeah. But have you ever watched, as far as Netflix, the originals go, have you ever watched Big Mouth?
If
Dude,
I had
it
that
is so
I-
growing
offensive.
up in puberty, shit would have been different.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it just...
Oh my god.
My
it's...
parents would have been like, "Oh, thank God, I don't have to teach you this shit." Like,
I mean,
like-
it's just... It's so offensive.
I have
It's
never
so
heard
real.
any form of video entertainment in any shape or form be quoted as much as that show has been quoted. I have never heard people try to recreate the voices from that show as much as Big Mouth. Like Lola, just that one character, like
Oh my
Lola
God.
herself.
It's-
really nasally.
oh my god. It's like, oh, God.
She's like Valley Girl, but also like a 50-year-old person who's been smoking for
Smoking
50
like 3
years,
packs of
30
Marlboros
years,
a day
whatever.
or whatever.
Exactly.
Oh, man.
Which is why Andrew and her make the perfect couple
It's
because they're both under like either.
Did you see the episode where they were
Overly
dry humping
sexually
each
I've
other?
seen every
developed.
episode of that show.
Have you really?
Oh, yeah.
I'm just sitting there watching it, and I'm just like,
It's the truth. They were just ballsy enough to do it first.
I find it hysterical that the first time you got to like see his sexual content on there was Coach Steve railing what's his name's mom.
Yeah.
That cracked me up because it's just like,
I can't get over how the kid that is Coach Steve's mom sleeps with,
his fucking pillows.
his character, yes, how he straight up maintains like a bisexual,
No,
like
really,
polyamorous,
yes,
weird
like,
relationship with the pillow,
Oh, the
and
pillow.
I didn't. As grown adults, I'm like that one where they're like pansexual. I'm like, wow. I've been looking at my sexuality totally fucking wrong.
right,
Oh,
like
they did like that
Holy
happy
shit.
song about what people really were. I'm like, I don't know who wrote that song, but they're freaking brilliant.
right.
They're sitting there.
What would you have to do to be?
What? Really? Are you so?
No, not really.
Okay.
Isn't that the point of this show?
No,
okay.
we're not supposed to. We're off the wall.
When I haven't had hardly anything to eat, when I laugh, it tickles my stomach, so it makes me laugh even harder. So I solely apologize.
Did you pit a little?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
So you're saying what? The characters what now?
Oh, those songs that they make up.
Oh,
Where do they come
man.
from? Do you have to be drunk, high, whatever? I don't freaking know, but they're
I'd
brilliant.
love
Right?
to sit down with their writing team, because like even the song that the episode they did. Now, this is on a serious note. If you look up Duke Ellington's life,
Yep.
they really portrayed
Mm-hmm.
a pretty cool outlook of Duke Ellington's life.
Yep.
And we like Duke Ellington's music. That dude was freaking dead by like World War II or some shit.
Right.
I mean, and they're really portraying him. I mean, but then they go do some funny shit. You know, and every now and then they tackle something kind of serious. Like, the Shame Wizard was kind of weird for me.
See that I related to
Did
the
you really? I
episodes
was
with the
gonna ask
Shame
you
Wizard
about that.
a lot.
That was a trip because there's kids that are that age that are dealing with that shit, and it's like, and what was the other one? The Depression Kitty.
Yes, the
If you
Depression Kitty too.
Folks,
Yes.
if you haven't seen the show, we're kind of making light of it, but it's very serious in how they tackle the issues.
Right, but they do it in such a pleasant, comical way that it makes it not seem so
I
serious.
think that's the way that they can get away with doing what they do.
Oh, absolutely.
My favorite. Okay, who's your favorite Big Mouth character? Mine is going to be Connie, the Hormone Monstress. I think she's kind of hot.
See, yeah,
I'd have to bone her. Like if she
a
would hook
bubble
me.
bath.
Yeah. A bubble bath.
Fuck you, coffee table.
Fuck you, coffee table.
No, her character is the tits.
I'm sorry, but she's hot. But
And,
then
and her nemesis,
the other hormone monstress, the blonde
that girl's
comes
a
Yes.
freak.
She's a freak, but she's all like, oh yeah, she needs to put her finger up his
He-
butthole. It's like, whoa.
And he's like, holy shit.
Like, do you guys forget these are middle schoolers that
Yeah,
we're talking
it's
about?
what
Like,
the fuck? And when she said that, I'm like, they found the perfect
Oh
I
my
don't know
god.
what they're doing.
See, I think in general, the whole concept of the hormone monster in general,
They
like
put a
I love
face
all
to
of
it,
them.
is what they
Exactly.
Kind of like Mayhem.
It was literally a
just put a
character
face
to
to it.
represent
Yeah.
everything that we all thought when we were that age.
Yeah. You know, and the thing of it is, we are in a society where we watch a lot of movies and animation and stuff like that. And when you can put it in a way, I'm curious as to how many conversations that show opened up. Because Jamie and I have talked about it. It's like,
The older
would I
generation
let
doesn't
my
want to talk
would I
about
let my
sex.
13-year-old watch that? It's like, I might fucking force myself to, because I don't know about your parents, but my parents didn't tell me how to talk about that shit to kids. My parents barely talked to me about it.
Right.
And so, I mean, I think Big Mouth is just a huge, groundbreaking, and the only way they could get away with, like, when, oh God, I don't know how to say this without even, like, thinking that I'm being a terrible person. When Jessie is talking to her, we refer to the lady's genitalia as the lily.
Yeah.
But when she's talking to her lily, and her lily's like talking back to her, oh, you don't know how to wipe front to back, honey. I know how to wipe. I don't think you do. It's like, oh, that's a
It's
conversation.
for the ladies that
That's a conversation that
do not very have good hygiene.
Yep, but that was a conversation for a mother and daughter not to have right there. They got to watch that and go, oh, I didn't have to talk to mom about this shit, is why I'm getting an infection or whatever it may be.
Right.
So they made it funny, but it was.
It makes puberty not so weird and secret and like.
Because now we're able to talk
shameful
about it
and-
before. Yeah, now it's being celebrated, which is
Right.
awesome. Instead of being shunned, which I'm sorry, boys have a hard time talking about it.
Oh,
when
I
they're younger.
agree with you.
They hate it. I had several boyfriends that were like, I'm not getting your tampons. I'm like, you low man.
Whereas with me,
Dude, I started buying my mom's tampons when I was like 16 years old. The moment I got
Don't-
my driver's
I'm
license,
sorry,
I don't
I'm
think
gonna buy
she's
you
purchased
condoms.
tampons
Thank
again.
you.
You better
It's
buy
like
me
we
tampons.
just don't. I
There's-
literally,
what's
I've
the
got,
difference?
You know what? I can literally go into a store and buy hemorrhoid cream and tampons and coffee and not give a damn.
Right.
I don't get
Like,
it.
if anything, I buy the tampons and I'm like, feel personally thankful that I don't have to be the one using them because the
Yeah,
whole
thank
process
you.
of what they're even for sounds like shit.
Now,
So
I don't-
Marcus, I want to ask you a question about Big Mouth, and I want us to move on to other Netflix shows, but I've really enjoyed how they have portrayed that one poor, I'm not going to say poor, but he portrays himself as very strong, but they did show a moment of weakness with him, the one gay kid in class. I love the character.
What's his
And,
name?
and the reason I'm
Matthew?
asking about
I
Matthew,
think Matthew, yeah.
I love Matthew, and I love how they're portraying him because, you know, here's the deal. I don't really care what people's feelings
Opinions?
on opinions and on stuff. Jamie and I's closest friends, people that we consider family. I don't care whatever y'all do, as long as it's not hurting somebody else. And I'd like to be able to say this. If you want to cut it out, please do. But it's, you know, we think of you and Mr. C. Don't want to use a name because he's not given a promotion yet. And we think of you as family. We all went to school with somebody that we knew. You knew. So get the fuck over it and let's pretend like, well, that stuff didn't happen in the 50s. No, it did. You were just a bunch of assholes about it. It made those people feel like hell. How do you like how they portray him?
I don't like it.
Don't you? Because I was going to ask if it was a little too...
The only reason I don't like it is because it kind of perpetuates that stereotype
That's what I was wondering.
that homosexuals are super flamboyant and they're always like
Over the
this and they all
top
sound like
and-
this.
yeah.
And exactly.
So
I don't like that.
What do you think about them bringing that other character in as he's the guy that humps the pillows, who's questioning himself?
That guy, I like that. I like that.
Mhm.
I
Okay.
truly, because and for me personally, being somebody who is part of the LGBT community,
Right.
like, I can relate to his whole, like, the confusion. Like, the episode where, I think it's the Valentine's Day episode.
Yes.
And he's, like, trying to figure out how to, like, satisfy both of his people. Like, yes, they're just pillows and it's a joke. But, like, in real life, like, as somebody that's bisexual, that truly is something
That's
that
a real
people
deal.
struggle with. Because
That's a real deal.
you never get full satisfaction. Because you're sleeping with a guy, you're missing what you get with a woman. You're sleeping with a woman, you miss what you can get with a guy. So you're like, you're never 100% satisfied. And I very much relate to his character.
That's the character that I think is, a lot of people don't realize, I feel like that is the deepest. And I was just kind of curious as to how you felt about, you know, I did think that his character was a little over the top, but
I think they had to bring. I think they were trying to use it as a
catalyst,
awareness of, hey, you just can't. I don't know, put everything in one freaking box. Leave people the hell alone. They are what they are, and why shouldn't they have to explain it?
Like this,
right? And I totally agree with that. But my thing is like, if that was the case, then why would the openly gay kid in the show, not the one that was questioning his sexuality, but the one that's openly gay, why does he have to be this?
That is true.
Right.
You know, why does he have to be all flamboyant and like that stereotypical quote flaming homosexual?
You know, and
But I get your point, and I agree with you. But then I think on certain points he was very masculine.
See, and that's true. That is very true. He did still carry a very strong personality.
Mm-hmm.
That, like, that's true.
I did like when they showed when he started dating that other boy. Like, he struggled. And the hormone monster's telling him, like when they're in the slide and they're like about to kiss each other and stuff. And because I'm trying to say, I'm like, I don't care if you're homosexual, heterosexual, polyamorous, whatever you do. I don't care. You've had that thought in your mind.
Dating is still hard regardless.
Right.
Am I aggressive?
Dating is hard for straight people.
Oh
so
my God, yeah.
You know, and it's and that's kind of the thing. Like even being, and we'll move on. Is there any other show you want to talk about?
I mean, I could sit and talk about TV shows all day, but
throw out one more show. What's another? What time is it? What's another Netflix show that you're all about? If you want to watch comedy, watch Eliza Schlesinger.
Oh, we talked about that.
You're a Gabriel Iglesias fan. I'm a huge Bill Burr fan. God, that guy's a
Bill Burr is really good.
Angela Johnson is another good comedian.
Which
she has a skit that everybody knows.
Which one is she? Is she
the nail salon thing?
Yes.
Oh, honey.
Oh God.
Yeah. That's Angela Johnson. Her whole career is based off of that one little bit that she does.
If you are easily offended, don't watch Angela Johnson.
Oh no. But the thing that's funny is in real life, Angela Johnson is like super down to earth, like very Christian woman. She, you know, she does her thing. She's married, like not.
You know, what is that we watched?
Whitney Cummings is another fun one.
We watched a.
Glow's another good one.
Glow.
That's the one about the female boxers, right?
Wrestlers.
Yeah. Okay, wrestlers.
Yeah.
That was really good. What was the Asian? We've watched 2 Asian stand-up comedians that were just epic.
Oh.
We've been on a real
comedian
kick lately.
Check out if Whitney Cummings still has her Money Shot special on Netflix. You gotta watch that.
We've seen that.
That's the one. Oh my God, it's so funny. She makes jokes about like the whole thing is about sex, basically.
Daniel Sloss.
Oh man. This guy.
If you want to be uncomfortable as far as like he's like, why are you offended at the fact that I have a sister that is handicapped?
His sister had cerebral palsy and she ended up passing away.
Gal.
And he's making fun of the situation, like his family got into a car wreck.
And okay, the closest thing that she knew of to a car wreck is a roller coaster.
A roller coaster.
So she assumed that their car flipping over was a roller coaster ride.
Oh my God.
She's like, laughing. She's loving every minute of it. And so they wreck, and they get the family out of the car, and they pick up his sister, and they put her on the side of the road, and she's just fucking loving it. She's loving every minute of it. And he tells this story in a way, but then when he talks, he goes, and so just so you know, my sister died. You're like, oh.
But not from the car wreck, just because
she passed away because of
cerebral palsy.
And he goes, no, I get to make fun of that. You can't judge me if I mean, he's very deep. Like,
yeah,
it was really
is such
good.
a crazy outlook on
Ronnie Chang
was
the guy that did he's a Chinese guy living over here now, great comedy. Super, super comedy.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else cool in Netflix that we're all doing right now? Before we end the show?
I can't think of anything. I already talked about my love for Stranger Things.
Yeah.
You like that? And
a lot of the other stuff that I like on Netflix, honestly, isn't Netflix original.
AJ and the Queen.
AJ and the Queen, yes. That one I highly recommend anybody watch.
I definitely recommend that.
Love Victor on Hulu is a great one for people who are either part of the LGBT community or people who want to educate themselves more about that community. Does a really great job.
Is it entertaining?
Oh, absolutely.
That's the thing. You know what? Even if you don't want to entertain, even if you don't want to educate yourself, and you just don't want to be that kind of person, watch it because it's like worth watching. It's kind of
right.
like
Bert Kreischer.
Bert Kreischer.
Bert Kreischer, yes.
That's a comedian
He's funny.
to watch. You got to watch The Machine. He talks about how in college, how by accident, and it's a true story, how he ended up becoming part of the Russian mafia.
So funny.
And it is so, I mean, and it's real. And actually, ironically enough, you remember the show Van Wilder?
I love Van Wilder.
The movie Van Wilder is about his life. He's the real Van. No bullshit. He's the real Van.
So
Wilder.
he got a BJ while giving his graduation speech.
Yeah, pretty much shit like that. Like he's the real Van Wilder, and he is.
I forgot about that part.
It's the best part of the whole movie.
I was like, he didn't get a. She's the one that talked me into that. Did you hear how she talked about? We're gonna leave on this. This is the funny story.
So Judy was really exhausted and I was already laying in bed, and he comes, and just all of a sudden, instead of crawling into bed, he just all of a sudden plops down and like sucks his hands and feet into each other like a turtle. And I'm like, you want to mount the bulbous? You want to take it through the car wash? He's like, what the fuck just
Like I woke up like, what the fuck did you just say? I want to mount the pulpus and take it to the car wash.
I want to take it through the car wash. I was like, oh my god.
And she just starts going
It's
through the rest of his
Have
little
you not
monologue.
seen Van Wilder? He's like, no. And I'm like, oh my god.
She's going through the rest of the monologue. I'm emotionally scarred. I'm like, what the fuck are you
Dude,
talking
I love
about?
those like overly raunchy comedies. American Pie.
Oh.
Have you seen
Can't get enough.
Beta House? I think Beta House is my favorite one.
Yeah.
Is Beta House an American Pie comedy?
Yes, it's one of like this. It's American Pie Beta House, and this one is about
It's
Stifler's son going to college, and like his older cousin or whatever already is going to school there and is part of the Beta House, which is like the party frat house. And long story short, they end up like getting inducted, and they have to do all this shit to like become part of the frat. Then they become part of it, and then there's this like other fraternity that's full of all these nerds that are super wealthy, like the next Stephen Hawking level intelligent kind of people, and they end up battling each other, and they end up doing this like Olympic whatever battle, and they have all these games that they have to play. But like one of them, they play Russian roulette, but they don't play it with a gun. They play it with a pistol that has a canister full of aged horse semen that they have to shoot into their mouth. That's just one scene.
Yeah, that is Van Wilder.
That's Van Wilder right there.
Well, that's American Pie, but it's not Van Wilder related, but it's still like the same kind of comedy where it's just super out there.
In Van Wilder, they made
Euro Trip. That's another one if you like raunchy comedy. Euro Trip is a fantastic.
And I liked Road Trip.
Yeah.
I liked Road Trip. Okay, you know another one that was kind of dumb and shit? The New Guy.
I don't know if I've seen that one.
I liked The New Guy. My boy Ross Patterson. That was one of the first major films he was in.
Oh, what's that one? Grandma's Boy. Have you ever seen that one?
I saw parts of it. It looks so wrong.
It's
like,
so
it
hilarious.
So uncomfortable.
Oh, that's one of the raunchiest movies I've ever watched.
So, is there anything coming out on Netflix that we should like?
Not that I know.
Prepared to watch?
Jessica would disagree, but Stranger Things season 4. It's coming.
Yeah, she wasn't into that, was she?
Yeah, and which surprises me. I figured she would have been all about it. A lot of people love that show. I don't know. Everybody has their own opinions. It's one of my favorite shows ever.
Or not, I mean that show is such a.
And anybody that show did such a better job because like the thing to do now is to have your show or your movie set in the 80s. Like everybody wants to do that.
But you got to shoot it right.
Exactly. And Stranger Things is the only one that does that because they take it to the right level. it's not just about being in the 80s.
They're
They take
shooting
it
it
to
on-
a cultural
evidently they're-
standpoint.
Evidently, they're shooting it on 35mm film.
Right.
Like, they're doing it old school. They're really doing it. And they're telling
Right.
people, if you want to watch this the way that it was filmed, you got to turn this off on your new smart
Right.
television or it's not going to work.
Right. And like they just take that
Lucifer,
that's a good one. I haven't watched it all the
they
way through,
canceled
but
it.
did they?
They recently canceled it, but I was just kind of curious as to
I liked it.
you loved it. I don't know if I ever saw
I don't think you've ever seen it.
I never saw any of it, but I mean, yeah. So what we've decided from this is that you can literally get drunk and watch Netflix.
What I won't watch is your fucking Spaceballs. I'm sorry.
That was
Oh
on
my
Amazon.
god, I love
She won't do
Spaceballs.
Nope.
Pizza
I'll
the
be
Hut
like,
is
if that's what
literally
you're
the
gonna
best
do,
person
I'm gonna
ever.
Go
She
do
won't do it.
something. I can't even be high. I can't even be drunk.
You know.
I'm sorry. I just want to. I dropped 20 IQ points.
That's the
I
point,
tried.
though.
I tried, and I'm like,
I
I
don't
got
think
really
she'll watch
quiet.
anything
I
from
got
that guy.
really quiet.
She won't watch
And she was
Blazing
like, "What's
Saddles.
going on?" I'm like, "Nothing." I'm like, "This is your deal. I'll watch it with
She
you."
won't watch History of the World. I mean,
I'm
she won't
like,
watch any of
I
that stupid.
Do you like
shit.
Airplane?
That's
Are you a fan of Airplane?
I've never heard of it.
It's so bad too.
It's like the best way to describe dry humor to somebody is to have them watch that movie.
No shit.
yeah, it's
It's a classic. It
It's
came out in like
Spaceballs.
the 70s, I think, late 70s, early 80s.
did the same guy that
If I didn't want to
Oh.
commit suicide, I'd do after Spaceballs. Just
the
can't do it.
director, and he turned like 96 this year. The director of Blazing Saddles.
Now, Blazing Saddles was freaking. I gotta be in the right mood, but it's freaking hilarious.
So Airplane is a lot like that.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
it's God, I hate to say it this way, and L'chaim Shalom, the Jewish guy from Hollywood, he's been doing movies for years. He's the one that plays the Schwartz. I mean,
Yes.
I think Airplane is another one of his movies.
Yeah.
And I mean,
think.
like, now I actually have a very close attachment to, and we'll leave on this, I have a very close attachment to Blazing Saddles. Because Robert Gillum, who was one of the actors in that, is one of the guys that helped me get my start in acting. And the only way that I can always tell people is, Flying Elvis's Utah chapter. You know who that is. And when I talked to him and he got me into the acting business, they were 6 months away from not being able to do that movie. That role
Oldie, Super Troopers.
Oh shit!
Yes.
How did
Car
you
Ramrod.
How did you fuck
I'd like to
up
get a
my
liter of
monologue
cola.
right there? Oh my god!
Did you guys see the second one?
No.
It came out. They released it of all days of the year. They released it on
420?
April 20th.
Yeah.
Oh
How can
I wasn't impressed with the second one, but the first
That's
one
too
is
bad.
fucking iconic.
that kind of bums
man.
me out because there's been a couple other secondary movies that have come out that didn't do it for us, but
Ace Ventura. Ace Ventura. Did you guys ever watch that shit?
Yes.
I liked them all.
I've
liked
I
them
love it.
always-
Now
ever-
I can't watch it. It
Literally,
bums
the moment I
shit out of
started
me.
being able to talk, I fell in love with Jim Carrey. To this day, I love Jim Carrey, and I fucking
The
love Ace
Rhino
Ventura.
is so funny.
See, I'm more of a fan of the
birthing
first
episode.
one, the Pet Detective one that he
Yep.
does with Courtney Cox.
Yep.
With the
Bruce
dolphin.
Almighty was good too.
Bruce Almighty, yeah.
Oh God, I haven't
His
seen the
older
second
movies,
one, but...
when he decided to get into this whole, I'm gonna take my politics and my belief, like he ruined Kick-Ass 2, because he got halfway through it. I won't hold a gun. You're a goddamn fucking superhero, man.
Yeah.
You're not. Shut the fuck up and go back to Canada then.
Why do you gotta ruin it with your little politics rants?
Well, that's the thing though. But like I know what the original script was, and I don't like what they did to the script because of he took.
I'm talking Jim Carrey way before
Yeah,
that's what I'm
Kick-Ass.
talking
I'm
about.
talking
I'm
like
talking
90s Jim Carrey.
What was the one?
The
where,
Cable Guy, fucking Ace Ventura.
Yes.
What was the one where
The Mask.
What was the one where
Mask
he was
epic.
he was a Rhode Island state trooper
What is
and he
that?
had two personalities?
Not Fun with Dick and Jane. I know what you're talking about.
He was like two different people, and his alter ego would come out to like stick up for him.
Holy shit! What is that movie called?
And he had black
He
sons.
did Liar Liar.
Yes,
That was a good one. But he had like his wife had cheated on him with a black
Right.
dude, and he had these huge, just monstrous big black sons that loved him and all that.
Yes. Oh my god. what is
God, that was so good.
Oh my god, it's
We've got to
killing
find out what
me.
that is. 'Cause that's
I want to
every
say
one.
Fun with Dick and Jane, but it's not. That's another one that he does.
I wasn't really happy with Fun with Dick and Jane, and I don't know why.
When Harry Met Sally, is that what it is?
That's not Jim Carrey.
No, I'm just trying to think of that.
What about the U.S. of Terror? United States of Terror was good.
Oh, was that a?
Yeah, I was with the
Netflix?
multiple personality disorder.
The best movie I've seen about that particular subject is called Split. Have you guys seen that
Oh,
one?
I
I
have
heard
not
that's
yet.
creepy.
It's good. It's
Is it really good?
Yes. It does take kind of a weird supernatural approach at the end that I wasn't expecting, but regardless, I can't think of the guy's name, but the actor, he's in so many other movies. He is a phenomenal.
He's part of the superheroes that they portray in Unbreakable, and a lot of people don't realize that
Right.
that is.
Well, he
that's
started as
Marvel
Mr.
Comics.
Tumnus in Narnia. That's
Yeah.
literally like I
Yep.
think one of his first roles, and then
Right.
his career took off, and then he started doing action movies, and he was in that movie Wanted, which Wanted is
He's-
actually I don't really like action films, but that one was actually kind
I
of
heard
cool.
Split.
Wanted was good.
I heard Split. That dude literally does like 20-some different
It's
personalities. and it's
it's
creepy.
uncomfortable to watch because he
Yeah.
is so good at his characters.
Wow.
His
All right.
Patricia personality is my favorite. but-
So we're gonna sit here and talk about movies all day. We're gonna let everybody go. So send us in your comments on what you are enjoying watching in Netflix. Find us
Or
your
Hulu, or
or
YouTube,
Hulu or Disney Plus or whatever.
and if you think we suck, let us know why.
Let us know why. Let us know. And you know what? But if there's something we should watch you'd like us to talk about, click below and you can leave us an email or a message or something along those lines and let us know what you're thinking. And I am JMR for producer Marcus.